Have you ever wondered why some people manage to build wealth while others struggle, even if they earn the same amount of money? The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel explores the complex relationship between money and human behavior, revealing that managing money isn't just about what you know, but how you behave. This book is a deep dive into the psychological aspects of financial decisions, offering timeless lessons on wealth, greed, happiness, and risk. Let's explore these insights together and learn how to apply them to our own lives to make better financial decisions. Chapter 1. No One's Crazy. Morgan Housel begins. The Psychology of Money by establishing that everyone has a unique relationship with money, shaped by their personal experiences, upbringing, and environment. This chapter highlights the profound impact that individual life circumstances have on our financial behaviors and attitudes, leading to vastly different perspectives on money. The main idea is that what might seem irrational or crazy to one person can make perfect sense to another, depending on their life experiences. For example, someone who grew up during a period of high inflation might have developed a cautious approach to spending and saving, viewing money as something that must be protected against the erosion of value. This person may prioritize safety and security in their financial decision, such as favoring conservative investments or maintaining a larger cash reserve. On the other hand, another individual who witnessed a booming stock market during their formative years might be more inclined to take risks. They may have seen people around them achieve significant financial gains by investing in the stock market, leading them to believe that taking risks is the primary path to financial success. This person might be more comfortable with volatility and more willing to invest in high-risk, high-reward opportunities. Housel emphasizes that our personal financial behavior is largely influenced by the unique circumstances we've encountered. It's not just about the knowledge we acquire, but about how our experiences shape our attitudes and decisions. The critical takeaway from this chapter is the importance of empathy and understanding when it comes to financial decisions. Rather than judging others' financial behaviors as irrational or misguided, we should recognize that everyone is operating from their own set of experiences and beliefs. This chapter also introduces the idea that the financial decisions we make are not just about money. They are about our histories, our fears, our hopes, and our desires. The challenge is to understand that these decisions are deeply personal and can't always be rationalized through logic alone. By acknowledging this, we can begin to see that no one's financial decisions are crazy in their own context, helping us develop a more compassionate view of others' financial behavior. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. In the second chapter, Housel delves into the intertwined nature of luck and risk, two forces that play a significant role in shaping financial outcomes. He argues that while we often attribute success to skill and hard work, and failure to bad luck or poor judgment, the reality is that both luck and risk are ever-present factors that can significantly influence our financial lives. Housel uses the example of Bill Gates to illustrate the role of luck in success. Gates' success can be attributed in part to being in the right place, the right time. He attended one of the few high schools in the world that had a computer in the early 1970s, giving him a head start that most other people didn't have. While Gates is undeniably talented and hardworking, the unique opportunity he had at a young age played a crucial role in his eventual success. On the flip side, Housel points out that many equally talented and hardworking individuals did not achieve the same level of success, as they didn't have the same opportunity. This highlights the role of risk. No matter how skilled or prepared someone is, external factors beyond their control can significantly impact their outcome. For every Bill Gates, there are many other brilliant minds who didn't have the same stroke of luck, and thus their stories are less well known. The chapter also discusses the tendency to attribute successful outcomes to personal skill while attributing failures to external factors like bad luck. This bias can lead to overconfidence and an underestimation of the risks involved in financial decisions. It can also foster a sense of entitlement or invulnerability, which can be dangerous when making decisions that involve significant risk. Housel encourages readers to acknowledge the role of luck in their successes and the role of risk in their failures. This recognition helps foster humility and a more balanced perspective on financial outcomes. It also emphasizes the importance of risk management, understanding that success is never guaranteed, no matter how skilled you are, and that it's crucial to protect yourself against potential losses. The key takeaway from this chapter is that financial success is often the result of a combination of luck, skill, and risk management. By recognizing the role of luck in success, we can remain humble and avoid overestimating our abilities. Similarly, by acknowledging the presence of risk, we can approach financial decisions with a greater degree of caution and care. Chapter 3. Never Enough. In the third chapter, Housel explores the concept of enough and the dangers of never being satisfied with what you have. This chapter examines the insatiable desire for more money, more power, more success, and how this endless pursuit can lead to destructive behavior and ultimately unhappiness. Housel shares stories of wealthy individuals who lost everything because they couldn't stop pushing for more. One of the key examples is that of Rajat Gupta, former business executive who rose to great heights in the corporate world, but ultimately fell from grace due to insider trading. Despite having amassed a significant fortune and a prestigious career, Gupta's desire for more led him to make illegal trades, which resulted in a prison sentence and the loss of his reputation. This story illustrates how the inability to recognize enough can lead even the most successful individuals to ruin. The chapter also touches on the story of Bernie Madoff, financier who ran the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Madoff had accumulated immense wealth and power, but his greed for more led him to commit massive fraud, destroying countless lives, including his own. Madoff's case shows how the pursuit of more can blind individuals to the moral and legal boundaries that should never be crossed. Housel argues that understanding what enough means to you personally is crucial for maintaining a healthy relationship with money. This involves recognizing the point at which additional wealth or success no longer contributes to your happiness and may even detract from it. It's about finding contentment in what you have rather than constantly striving for more. The idea of enough also ties into the broader concept of life satisfaction. Money, while important, is only one aspect of a fulfilling life. Relationships, health, personal growth, and meaningful work are other factors that contribute to overall happiness. By recognizing when you have enough in one area, you can focus on these other aspects of life, leading to a more balanced and content existence. Key takeaway from this chapter is that the relentless pursuit of more can be a dangerous path. Understanding what enough means to you can help you avoid the pitfalls of greed and maintain a healthy, balanced approach to wealth and success. It's a reminder that sometimes the most important financial decision you can make is to be content with what you have. Chapter 4. Confounding Compounding. Chapter 4 delves into one of the most powerful forces in finance, compounding. Housel explains that compounding isn't just a financial concept. It applies to many areas of life, including knowledge, relationships, and habits. However, despite its power, compounding is often underestimated or misunderstood. Housel uses the example of Warren Buffett to illustrate the immense power of compounding. Buffett is often celebrated as one of the greatest investors of all time. But what's truly remarkable is not just his investment acumen, but the duration of his investing career. Buffett started investing at a young age and has been doing so for over 7 decades. The majority of his wealth was accumulated after his 60th birthday, highlighting the exponential growth that compounding can achieve over long periods. The lesson here is that time and consistency are key to building wealth. Compounding works best when given time to grow. Small, consistent actions, whether they involve saving, investing, or learning, can lead to massive results over time. However, the effects of compounding are often slow and subtle at first, which can make it difficult for people to appreciate its full potential. Housel emphasizes that the key to harnessing the power of compounding is patience and the discipline to stick with a long-term plan. This can be challenging in a world that often prioritizes quick wins and instant gratification. However, those who understand and respect the power of compounding are more likely to achieve significant financial success over the long run. The concept of compounding also extends beyond money. For example, knowledge compounds as you learn more, each new piece of information building on what you already know. Relationships, too, can benefit from compounding as trust and understanding deepen over time. Similarly, habits, both good and bad, compound, leading to either positive or negative outcomes depending on the behaviors you reinforce. The key takeaway from this chapter is that compounding is a powerful force that can lead to extraordinary results, but it requires time, patience, and consistency. Whether in finance or other areas of life, understanding and leveraging compounding can be a game changer. Chapter 5: Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. In this chapter, Housel makes a crucial distinction between getting wealthy and staying wealthy. While getting wealthy often involves taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there, staying wealthy requires a different set of skills, namely humility, patience, and an understanding that past success doesn't guarantee future success. Housel explains that the strategies and behaviors that help people accumulate wealth are not necessarily the same as those required to maintain it. For instance, entrepreneurs and investors who achieve wealth often do so by taking calculated risks, seizing opportunities, and being optimistic about the future. However, once they have accumulated wealth, the focus should shift to preserving it, which involves a more conservative and risk-averse approach. One of the key aspects of staying wealthy is recognizing the importance of risk management. This means understanding that no matter how successful you've been in the past, there is always the potential for loss. Therefore, it's essential to avoid catastrophic losses that can wipe out years of progress. This can be achieved by diversifying investments, maintaining a margin of safety, and being cautious about overextending oneself. Housel also discusses the role of humility in staying wealthy. Success can breed overconfidence, leading individuals to take on more risk than they should. By remaining humble and recognizing that past success was not solely the result of skill, but also of luck and favorable circumstances, individuals can avoid the pitfalls of arrogance and maintain a more balanced approach to their finance. Another important element of staying wealthy is patience. Wealth preservation is a long-term game that requires a steady and disciplined approach. This means resisting the temptation to make impulsive decisions based on short-term market movements or trends. Instead, patient investor stays focused on long-term goals and avoids the noise of daily market fluctuations. The key takeaway from this chapter is that while getting wealthy and staying wealthy both require financial acumen, they involve different mindsets and strategies. Building wealth is often about taking risks and being optimistic, but preserving it requires humility, patience, and a strong focus on risk management. Chapter 6: Tails, You Win. In this chapter, Morgan Housel introduces the concept of tail events and their disproportionate impact on outcomes, particularly in the world of finance. A tail event refers to a rare extreme occurrence that falls on the far ends or tails of a probability distribution. These events, while infrequent, can have a massive impact on financial outcomes, often driving the majority of returns in investments. Housel explains that in finance, much of the overall success or failure of a portfolio can be attributed to a small number of extraordinary successes or failures. These are the tail events. For example, if you look at the stock market's long-term gains, you'll find that a significant portion of the growth comes from just a handful of companies that experienced extraordinary success. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon are examples of tail events, stocks that have delivered outsized returns and have significantly influenced the overall performance of the market. The concept of tail events underscores the importance of being patient and maintaining a long-term perspective in investing. Investors might experience numerous small losses or periods of underperformance, but these should not discourage them. The key is to stay invested and allow time for those rare, impactful gains to materialize. In other words, a few big wins can more than compensate for many small losses. This chapter also challenges the notion of needing to be right all the time in investing. You don't need to make perfect decisions in every investment. Instead, the goal is to position yourself so that when a tail event occurs, you are in a place to benefit significantly from it. Understanding this helps investors focus on long-term success and not get discouraged by the inevitable small losses or setbacks that occur along the way. Housel's message here is clear. While tail events are unpredictable, they are inevitable in the long run. The best approach is to remain patient, diversify your investments, and be prepared for those rare opportunities that can dramatically improve your financial standing. Chapter 7. Freedom. In Chapter 7, Housel argues that the highest form of wealth isn't material goods, luxury cars, or financial assets, but rather freedom. Specifically, the freedom to control your time, freedom from worry, and the freedom to do what you want. Housel begins by discussing the concept of time and its intrinsic value. He suggests that one of the most valuable things money can buy is control over your time. This means having the flexibility to spend your days as you choose, whether that involves pursuing your passions, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying leisure activities. Financial freedom allows you to make choices based on your desires, rather than being driven solely by the need to earn a living. The idea of freedom also extends to freedom from worry. Financial stress is one of the most common sources of anxiety, and accumulating wealth can provide a cushion that reduces this stress. However, Housel cautions that simply accumulating wealth isn't enough. How you use that wealth is crucial. If money is spent on status symbols or maintaining an expensive lifestyle, it can lead to a different kind of stress, one where you become a slave to your possessions and lifestyle. Housel emphasizes that true wealth lies in having control over your time and decisions. This should be the ultimate financial goal, rather than the mere accumulation of wealth for its own sake. He suggests that many people spend their lives accumulating wealth, only to find themselves trapped by the very things they thought would bring them happiness. Expensive homes, cars, and other material possessions that require constant maintenance and financial commitment. The chapter also touches on the importance of having a financial plan that prioritizes freedom. This might mean living below your means, saving and investing wisely, and avoiding unnecessary debt. By doing so, you can build a financial foundation that gives you the freedom to make choices based on what truly matters to you, rather than being constrained by financial obligations. The key takeaway from this chapter is that the ultimate measure of wealth, not how much money you have, but how much freedom it affords you. Money should be used as a tool to enhance your life and give you the freedom to live according to your values and desires. Chapter 8. The Man in the Car Paradox. In this chapter, Housel introduces the man in the car paradox, a concept that explores the disconnect between our intentions when purchasing luxury items and how others perceive them. The paradox highlights that people often buy expensive items, such as luxury cars or designer clothes, to signal wealth or status to others. But in reality, those others usually don't care as much as we think. Housel explains that when someone buys a luxury car, they might believe that others will admire them for their success and affluence. However, the reality is that when people see someone driving a luxury car, they are more likely to imagine themselves behind the wheel than to admire the driver. In other words, people are more focused on their own desires and fantasies than on the person who owns the expensive item. This paradox highlights the idea that buying things to impress others is often a futile endeavor. The people you're trying to impress are usually more concerned with their own lives and desires than with admiring your possessions. As a result, spending money on luxury items for the sake of impressing others can lead to financial strain without providing the intended social rewards. Housel's message in this chapter is a reminder to be mindful of why we spend money. Are we making purchases because they genuinely bring us joy and satisfaction? Or are we trying to signal something to others? Understanding this distinction can help us make better financial decisions that are more aligned with our personal happiness rather than external validation. The chapter encourages readers to focus on what truly brings them happiness and fulfillment, rather than trying to keep up with societal expectations or impress others. By doing so, we can avoid the trap of consumerism and instead direct our financial resources toward things that genuinely improve our lives. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. In Chapter 9, Housel emphasizes that true wealth is often invisible. While we can easily see someone's fancy car, expensive clothes, or large home, we don't see their bank account, investments, or savings, the things that actually build and preserve wealth. This chapter focuses on the importance of saving and investing over spending, and the idea that living below your means is the key to financial freedom. Housel points out that the outward displays of wealth, such as luxury cars or designer clothes, are often purchased at the expense of true financial security. These visible markers of success can be deceptive, as they don't necessarily reflect a person's actual financial health. For example, someone driving an expensive car might be heavily in debt or have little in savings, while another person with a modest lifestyle might have substantial investments and a strong financial foundation. The idea that wealth is what you don't see encourages a mindset shift from focusing on consumption, focusing on saving and investing. Housel argues that accumulating wealth isn't about how much you earn or how much you spend, but rather about how much you keep and grow over time. True wealth is built through disciplined saving, wise investing, and prudent financial management. Living below your means is a central theme in this chapter. Housel suggests that by avoiding lifestyle inflation, where increased income leads to increased spending, you can free up more money to save and invest. This approach not only builds financial security, but also gives you more options and flexibility in the future. The chapter also touches on the idea that the less you need to impress others, the more wealth you can accumulate. By focusing on your own financial goals and values, rather than trying to keep up with others, you can make decisions that lead to long-term financial success. Key takeaway from this chapter is that true wealth is not about what you can show off, but about what you have saved and invested. It's the financial security that comes from having a solid foundation of assets and the freedom that this wealth affords you. Chapter 10. Save money. In Chapter 10, Housel delves into the importance of saving money and explains that saving isn't just about discipline, it's about creating options, flexibility, and freedom. He argues that savings provide a safety net that allows you to take risks, seize opportunities, and weather financial storms. Housel begins by challenging the common misconception that saving is only important for those who have a specific goal, such as buying a house or retiring. Instead, he suggests that saving should be a fundamental part of everyone's financial strategy, regardless of whether there is a specific short-term goal in mind. Saving money gives you the freedom to make better decisions rather than being driven by fear or desperation. One of the key insights in this chapter is that the habit of saving is more important than the amount you save. Consistency in saving builds financial resilience over time, and even small, regular contributions can accumulate into significant sums due to the power of compounding. Housel emphasizes that the act of saving should be viewed as a form of self-care, ensuring that you are prepared for whatever life might throw at you. Housel also explains that savings provide a buffer against uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected expenses or changes in circumstances can occur at any time. Having a financial cushion allows you to handle these surprises without derailing your long-term financial plans. This buffer also gives you the flexibility to take advantage of opportunities, such as investing in a promising venture or making a career change, without the pressure of immediate financial concerns. The chapter also touches on the psychological benefit of saving. Having a robust savings account can reduce stress and anxiety, as it provides a sense of security and control over your financial future. This peace of mind is an often overlooked benefit of saving, but it can significantly improve your overall quality of life. The key takeaway from this chapter is that saving money is not just about accumulating wealth. It's about creating options, flexibility, and freedom. By prioritizing saving, you can build a financial foundation that supports your goals and gives you the security to navigate life's uncertainty. Chapter 11. Reasonable, rational. In Chapter 11, Housel argues that being reasonable is often more important than being rational when it comes to money. While financial decisions should be based on logic and data, they also need to account for your unique circumstances, personality, and comfort level. Housel begins by explaining the difference between being rational and being reasonable. Rationality involves making decisions based solely on logic, facts, and objective analysis. In contrast, reasonableness takes into account not only the logical aspects of a decision, but also the emotional, psychological, and personal factors that influence our choices. For example, it might be rational to invest aggressively in stocks to achieve higher returns, especially if historical data shows that stocks outperform other asset classes over the long term. However, if this strategy causes you to lose sleep at night or feel constantly anxious about market fluctuations, it might not be reasonable for you. In this case, a more conservative approach that aligns with your risk tolerance and emotional comfort might be a better choice, even if it's not the optimal solution on paper. Housel emphasizes that personal finance is just that, personal. What works for one person might not work for another, and it's important to tailor your financial plan to what makes sense for you, considering both your financial goals and your emotional well-being. This approach helps you stick to your plan over the long term, as it aligns with your values and comfort level. The chapter also discusses the importance of recognizing that our decisions are influenced by more than just logic. Human behavior is complex, and emotions play a significant role in how we handle money. By acknowledging and respecting these emotional factors, we can create financial plans that are more sustainable and better suited to our individual needs. The key takeaway from this chapter is that while rationality is important, it's not the only factor that should guide your financial decisions. Being reasonable, considering your unique circumstances, emotions, and comfort level, is often more effective in helping you create a financial plan that you can stick with and that truly works for you. Chapter 12. Surprise! The final chapter in this summary, Chapter 12, deals with the unpredictability of life and the financial markets. Housel explains that the world is full of surprises, and despite our best efforts to predict the future, we are often blindsided by unexpected events. Key, he argues, is not to try to predict every outcome, but to prepare for the inevitability of surprises. Housel begins by discussing how financial markets and the economy are influenced by countless variables, many of which are unpredictable. Whether it's a sudden economic downturn, global pandemic, or a technological breakthrough, the future is inherently uncertain. This uncertainty can lead to both positive and negative surprises, and the impact of these surprises can be significant. Given this unpredictability, Housel advocates for building a financial plan that is resilient to shocks and surprises. This includes having an emergency fund, diversifying investments, and avoiding overconfidence in any single strategy or prediction. An emergency fund provides a financial cushion that allows you to handle unexpected expenses or changes in income without going into debt or derailing your long-term plans. Diversification is another key strategy for managing the risk of surprises. By spreading your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographic regions, you reduce the impact of any one event or downturn on your overall portfolio. Diversification helps to smooth out the ups and downs of the market, making your financial plan more resilient. Housel also cautions against overconfidence, which can lead to taking on excessive risk or making overly optimistic predictions about the future. He suggests that humility and caution are essential when making financial decisions, as they help you remain prepared for the unexpected. The key takeaway from this chapter is that while surprises are inevitable, they don't have to derail your financial goals. By expecting the unexpected and building a resilient financial plan, you can navigate the uncertainties of life and the markets, greater confidence and stability. Chapter 13. Room for Error. In Chapter 13, Housel emphasizes the importance of building a margin of safety into your financial plans to ensure long-term success. The concept of a margin of safety, or leaving room for error, is a cornerstone of prudent financial management, whether you're budgeting, investing, or planning for retirement. Housel begins by explaining that financial plans are inherently uncertain because they are based on assumptions about the future, assumptions that may not always hold true. For example, when you plan for retirement, you might estimate your future income needs, investment returns, and life expectancy. However, these estimates can be affected by various factors beyond your control, such as economic downturns, unexpected expenses, or changes in your personal circumstance. Given this uncertainty, Housel advocates for being conservative in your assumptions and planning for the unexpected. This means building a buffer into your financial plan, so that if things don't go as expected, you won't be left scrambling to make ends meet. For instance, when budgeting, it's wise to overestimate expenses and underestimate income. In investing, it's prudent to assume that market returns will be lower than historical averages, and to ensure that your portfolio can withstand periods of volatility without forcing you to sell assets at a loss. Housel also discusses the importance of not overextending yourself. Taking on too much risk or stretching your finances too thin can leave you vulnerable to financial shocks. For example, taking on a mortgage that you can barely afford might work out as long as everything goes according to plan. But if you lose your job or face an unexpected medical expense, that lack of a margin of safety could lead to financial disaster. The key takeaway from this chapter is the importance of being cautious and leaving room for error in your financial planning. By doing so, you can protect yourself from the inevitable bumps in the road and ensure that you can weather financial storms without derailing your long-term goals. This approach helps you build a resilient financial plan that can adapt to changing circumstances and reduce the stress associated with uncertainty. Chapter 14. In Chapter 14, Housel explores the idea that people's goals, desires, and circumstances change over time, and it's crucial to recognize this when making financial decisions. What you want today might not be what you want in 5 or 10 years, so flexibility is key in financial planning. Housel begins by discussing how life is dynamic and full of unexpected changes. Your career, relationships, health, and personal values are likely to evolve over time, and so will your financial goals. For instance, you might start your career focusing on accumulating wealth and climbing the corporate ladder. But as you age, you might prioritize financial security, work-life balance, or spending more time with family. Given this inevitability of change, Housel advises building a financial plan that allows for adjustments and revisions as life unfolds. One way to do this is by maintaining flexibility in your investments and savings. For example, choosing investments that are easily liquidated gives you the ability to reallocate your resources as your goals change. Similarly, keeping some savings in cash or liquid assets can provide you with the flexibility to take advantage of unexpected opportunities or to adjust to new circumstances without disrupting your long-term plan. Housel also highlights the importance of being open to revising your goals as you grow. It's easy to get locked into a particular financial plan or career path, but being willing to adapt and change course when necessary is a critical skill for long-term success. This might involve reassessing your retirement plans, changing your investment strategy, or even pivoting your career in a new direction that aligns better with your evolving values and priorities. The key takeaway from this chapter is that flexibility is essential in financial planning. Life is unpredictable, and your goals and circumstances will change over time. By building flexibility into your financial plan, you can adapt to these changes and continue to make decisions that align with your current needs and aspirations. Chapter 15. Nothing's free. In Chapter 15, Housel delves into the concept that everything in life, including money and success, comes with a cost. Understanding these costs and deciding whether you're willing to pay them is crucial for making informed financial decisions. Housel begins by explaining that in the world of investing, the cost is often not a monetary price, but the emotional toll of volatility and uncertainty. For example, investing in the stock market offers the potential for high returns, but it comes with the cost of enduring market fluctuations, economic downturns, and periods of uncertainty. Many investors underestimate these emotional costs, leading to impulsive decisions like selling in a panic during a market dip or failing to stick with a long-term investment. Key, Housel argues, is to be aware of these costs and accept them as the price of admission for long-term success. Just as you wouldn't expect to go to an amusement park without paying for a ticket, you shouldn't expect to achieve financial success without enduring some level of discomfort or uncertainty. By recognizing and accepting these costs, you can avoid making impulsive decisions that could derail your financial goals. Housel also discusses the broader costs associated with pursuing wealth and success. These might include the time, energy, and sacrifices required to build a successful career or grow a business. For example, climbing the corporate ladder might bring financial rewards, but it could also come at the cost of long hours, high stress, and time away from family. It's important to weigh these costs against the benefits and determine whether they align with your values and long-term goals. The chapter encourages readers to think critically about what they're willing to sacrifice in pursuit of their financial goals. Understanding the true cost of your decisions, whether it's the emotional cost of investing, the time cost of building a career, or the opportunity cost of choosing one path over another, can help you make more informed choices that are aligned with your values and priorities. The key takeaway from this chapter is that nothing in life is truly free. Every financial decision comes with a cost, whether it's emotional, time-related, or opportunity-based. Being aware of these costs and accepting them as part of the process can help you stay focused and avoid making impulsive decisions that undermine your long-term success. Chapter 16. You and Me. In Chapter 16, Housel emphasizes that personal finance is, by its very nature, personal. What works for one person might not work for another, and it's important to understand that different people have different goals, risk tolerances, and financial situations. The chapter explores the dangers of comparing yourself to others and highlights the importance of tailoring your financial decisions to your unique circumstances. Housel begins by explaining that everyone has a different relationship with money, shaped by their upbringing, experiences, and values. Some people are comfortable with high levels of risk, while others prefer the security of conservative investments. Some prioritize saving for retirement, while others focus on enjoying life in the present. These differences mean that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to personal finance. The danger of comparing yourself to others is that it can lead to financial decisions that are not aligned with your goals and risk tolerance. For example, you might see a friend or colleague investing in high-risk stocks or buying an expensive home and feel pressured to do the same, even if it doesn't make sense for your financial situation. This can lead to overextending yourself or taking on more risk than you're comfortable with, which can have negative consequences in the long run. Housel advises readers to focus on what's right for them, rather than trying to follow someone else's path. This involves understanding your own financial needs, goals, and risk tolerance, and making decisions that are aligned with these factors. For example, if you're someone who values security and peace of mind, it might make more sense for you to prioritize saving and investing conservatively, even if others are taking more aggressive approaches. The chapter also touches on the importance of being honest with yourself about what you want out of life. This self-awareness can help you set realistic goals and make financial decisions that bring you closer to achieving them. Whether your goal is to retire early, travel the world, or simply live a comfortable life, your financial plan should be tailored to what matters most to you. The key takeaway from this chapter is that personal finance is just that, personal. Avoid comparing yourself to others and instead focus on what's right for you. By understanding your own financial needs and goals, you can make better decisions and avoid the pitfalls of trying to follow someone else's path. Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimists. Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimism. In Chapter 17, Housel explores the allure of pessimism and why it often sounds more intelligent or realistic than optimism. However, he argues that while pessimism can be seductive, optimism is the mindset that allows for progress, growth, and long-term financial success. Housel begins by explaining that pessimism often sounds smarter because it involves pointing out potential risks, flaws, and challenges, things that are tangible and easily understood. For example, during economic downturns or market crashes, pessimistic voices tend to dominate the conversation, warning of further declines and painting a bleak picture of the future. This can make optimism seem naive or overly simplistic by comparison. However, Housel argues that while pessimism might sound more credible in the short term, it's optimism that drives long-term progress and growth. This is because the world, despite its ups and downs, generally moves in a positive direction over time. Economies grow, technology advances, and living standards improve. Investors who remain optimistic and stay invested in the market, even during tough times, are often rewarded in the long run. Housel acknowledges that optimism should not be blind or uncritical. It's important to recognize risks and challenges, but the focus should be on long-term potential and opportunities, rather than getting bogged down by short-term negativity. He advocates for a balanced approach, where you acknowledge the risks, but remain committed to your long-term goals. The chapter also discusses the importance of resilience in the face of setbacks. Financial markets are inherently volatile, and there will always be periods of decline or uncertainty. However, those who maintain an optimistic outlook and stay focused on their long-term strategy are more likely to weather these storms and come out ahead. The key takeaway from this chapter is that while pessimism may seem more credible, it's optimism, tempered with caution, that allows for progress and long-term success. By maintaining a positive outlook and focusing on the long-term potential, you can stay on course and continue building wealth even in uncertain time. Chapter 18. When You'll Believe Anything. In the final content chapter of the book, Housel discusses the dangers of overconfidence and the importance of humility in financial decision-making. He warns that it's easy to fall into the trap of believing you know more than you do, or that you can predict the future. But the reality is that the financial world is complex and unpredictable. Housel begins by explaining that overconfidence can lead to poor financial decisions because it causes people to underestimate risks and overestimate their ability to control outcomes. For example, investors might become overconfident during a bull market, believing that they have a special insight or skill that allows them to predict market movements. This can lead to taking on excessive risk, making concentrated bets, or failing to diversify, a strategy that can backfire when the market inevitably turns. The chapter highlights the importance of recognizing the limits of your knowledge and being skeptical of easy answers or predictions. Financial markets are influenced by countless variables, many of which are impossible to predict or control. Admitting what you don't know and being open to new information can help you avoid costly mistakes and make more informed decisions. Housel also discusses the importance of maintaining a healthy dose of humility in financial matters. This means being willing to admit when you're wrong, learning from your mistakes, and avoiding the temptation to double down on a losing strategy out of pride. Humility also involves recognizing that luck plays a significant role in financial outcomes, and that success is not always the result of skill or foresight. The key takeaway from this chapter is that overconfidence can be dangerous, leading to poor decisions and unnecessary risk. By maintaining humility, admitting what you don't know, and being skeptical of easy answers, you can protect yourself from making costly mistakes and build a more resilient financial strategy. Chapter 19. All Together Now. In the final chapter, All Together Now, Morgan Housel ties together the various lessons and insights discussed throughout the book, emphasizing that no single strategy or mindset will guarantee financial success. Instead, it's the combination of many different approaches, adapted to your personal circumstances, that leads to a healthy financial life. Housel highlights that financial success isn't about mastering one aspect of money management, but rather integrating multiple principles. For example, understanding the importance of long-term thinking, recognizing the role of luck and risk, maintaining humility, and managing your emotions all play critical roles in how you handle money. Each lesson supports the others, creating a cohesive approach to wealth building. This chapter underscores the importance of adopting a holistic approach to personal finance. It's not enough to focus solely on budgeting, investing, or saving. You must also consider the psychological and emotional aspects of money management. By integrating these principles into your financial life, you can build a strategy that is resilient, adaptable, and tailored to your unique situation. Housel encourages readers to take a step back and look at the big picture. Personal finance is about more than just accumulating wealth. It's about using money as a tool to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. This might involve making trade-offs, setting priorities, and being willing to adjust your plans as circumstances change. The key takeaway from this chapter is that personal finance is holistic. It's about combining knowledge, behavior, psychology, and discipline. By bringing all these elements together, you can build a financial strategy that is not only effective in accumulating wealth, but also sustainable and aligned with your long-term goals and values. Conclusion. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel offers profound insights into the psychological factors that influence our financial decisions. The book teaches us that managing money is as much about understanding human behavior as it is about mastering numbers. By recognizing our biases, understanding the role of luck and risk, and focusing on long-term goals, we can build a healthier relationship with money and make better financial decisions. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or looking to refine your approach, the lessons in this book are invaluable. They remind us that wealth isn't just about accumulating money, it's about living a life of freedom, security, and purpose. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the psychology of money. If you found this summary helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, Beyond Books, for more insightful book summaries. Share your thoughts and experiences with money in the comments below. Until next time, remember, how you manage your money is just as important as how much money you have.